Hello everyone and welcome to the BeamNG AI Cup. I'm glad you can join us as we are underway for the first race here at Hirochi Raceway. It's a good launch from Cyan, but they were as you were coming into corner 1 here. An orange chancing one beside green but not going for it. Black almost going onto the grass. It looks like orange and red are side by side, and yes they are as they come around turn 1 here. Ooh, that was a bad body crunching sound there. That did not sound good. Oh, and they're spinning. And orange is round. Orange has been spun. The worst possible start for orange as he drops all the way to the back of the order. As you can see, the top 3 are starting to break away. There's some catch-up work to do for the rest of the pack. And black has seemed to have lost a position to lime. We'll have to see what happened there in the replay as orange comes around, far behind the rest of the cars. Okay, so this is orange's perspective of the start of the race. It's a pretty good launch. He tries one on green, there's a bit of braking there, but he doesn't have a chance, and this gives red the opportunity to come up the side. You can see him in the mirrors there, and there he is, popping around. An awkward contact, which sends red into a spin, hits orange, and then orange is hit by blue and sent all the way around. As we hop on board with red, this is what he saw. Comes up beside orange, tries, fails, tries again, this time gets right upside, gets past for a brief moment, and then orange will come and they'll make the awkward contact, sending red to a spin. Luckily saved by orange, or else he would have also spun around, and then he spins around there, as you can see. I'll be surprised if red gets away with this one without any damage. Hopping on board with blue, who was responsible for the spin. As you can see, he gets a good launch, tries to go around red, but there's a lot of braking and cars decide to slow down to be safe. Then he gets a good run on red there, but then red gets a better run on orange, and he's forced to watch from behind. And then they make that awkward contact, sending red into spin into orange. And there really wasn't enough space for blue, was there? It wasn't really his fault. Didn't have anywhere else to go, so I'm going to call that one a racing incident. Oh, and there's more contact there with red. And then smoke coming from the wheels of red, that's concerning for him. Now we're going to see the aerial view. Cyan getting a good launch as we saw, and then you can see blue slowing down, almost hitting pink there. We didn't see that last time. And then he tries to go around red. Red successfully gets to the side of orange, making contact, rubbing, and then ultimately spinning, hitting, and then blue spins orange around, and he goes to the back of the field. Unlucky start for him. And there's a ride on board with pink. Oh, black's right behind him there. And he's going to try. And oh, black makes contact with pink. And that's why we see lime make a position with pink, also taking a bit of damage there. Hopping back to live, we ride on board with yellow, who is chasing Cyan down earnestly for first position. Would be really very big to get a win at the start of the season here. And as they come around this corner, this is one of the biggest overtaking spots. I'm sure we'll see a lot of moves made later on in the race at that corner there. Coming down the bridge and around the next corner, yellow is getting a little bit closer to Cyan, but then Cyan runs away again. As we go through the S's, all 10 cars weaving through, and we've made it through the first lap without any DNFs. And we come around the last corner to finish off what has been quite an interesting lap to start the series. Cyan leads us through the first lap, followed by yellow and green making up the podium positions, and then trailing far back is red, blue, pink, lime, black, purple, and all the way at the back, orange, suffering an unfortunate spin that was out of his control. It'll be interesting to see if this leading pack can retain their lead and extend it, running away from the rest of the pack, or they'd be caught and chased down by red, who is still smoking from his tyres. That's not a good sign for him. Having damage so early on, there's no way to repair it. Will really cost him for the later parts of the race. And as we ride on with Cyan, who leads the pack quite comfortably, blasting down the straight, all the way around the 90-degree turn. It's been a good start for him, very strong, very consistent, and there's been no sort of falters. Oh, there's a falter from red as he spins all the way around, smoke coming out of the car. Oh, and these cars are going to hit him, aren't they? Oh, very close, dodging each one. And oh, contact made with orange. Let's look at the replay of that. Riding on board with red, coming around, and his tire's just gone. Nothing he can do. spins around and watches all of his competitors zoom by. And then for whatever reason he makes a foolish mistake of running into orange, the second time they've made contact this race. And I doubt red will be able to make it out of this one, as we ride on board with orange. And yeah, that was all red's fault. You can see his tyre was stuffed, he couldn't do anything. And now orange has quite substantial damage down the side of his car. Well, at least he's not last, but let's see if red can catch up, or if he's truly done for this race. And if he does finish, even if he's really slow, he'll still get 1 point for coming last. But otherwise, if he DNFs, he'll get none. As we jump back to live, watching yellow here chase down Cyan for the victory as we come around the slow right-hander and into the chicane. One of the best overtaking opportunities in the whole track here, but oftentimes causing spins as cars stick their noses downwards and spin around. Oh, and red has not moved from the middle of the track. Hopefully they can avoid him like they did last time, or else there'll be more carnage. Oh, and he's moving just a little bit. See if he can get anywhere. And here comes the cars over the bridge, heading straight towards that corner. Around they come, and red is well out of the way. But unfortunately, I think that's the end of his race today, as he has been lapped, and he doesn't look like he's going anywhere. 0 points for red in the first round, which is really unfortunate for him, as blue comes around and passes him, as does the rest of the pack. Well, we're 6 minutes into the race now, and Cyan still leads, with yellow trailing behind and green, still with a very large gap. But now that red, who was probably being slowed with his damage, is out of the way, blue will have a chance to catch them up. And pink follows him, followed by lime, black, purple, and orange. It'll be really good for Cyan to convert his pole into a victory today. They'll bag him 25 points. And as the cars go onto the bridge of this figure 8 track, you can see they're maintaining a similar gap to last lap. Watching from the marshal post here as Cyan comes around, maintaining his lead, followed by yellow, green, and the rest of the pack, which are quite a distance away. Yeah, you can really see the gap now, and here comes blue, followed by pink, followed by lime, black, purple, and orange, with red of course being out of the race. Ah, here he is, sitting in the beach and still trying to drive away. He's not going to get anywhere because he's heavily damaged and in the gravel. Hopping on board with green here, chasing second and first down, who are yellow and Cyan. It's been a good start for him as he hasn't really lost any ground and he's in a strong position to bag a lot of points. He'll score 15 points for third place. And up ahead there we can see yellow pulling out in an attempt to pass Cyan. And it's a bit turbulent here as we go around turn 1, the long left-hander. But that's interesting that we're seeing Cyan have some pace struggles along the straight. I hope that doesn't continue all, and yellow's trying to have another look around the outside this time, but is denied as he picks a quite awful line. He's very lucky not to get overtaken by green there. Oh, and they could both go through. Cyan is down to third. He has lost the lead, and yellow is our new race leader. It looks so good for Cyan, being in first position for the whole part of the race, but now he loses it and he's showing concerning signs of pace, as green and yellow are already pulling away from Cyan. Blue and the rest of the pack are right on his tail now, and that isn't a very good sound coming from his engine there, as blue comes with great pace and he's going to go around. Pink gets stuck. Pink tries to go around. That's not good for him. He'll lose a place to lime, but he'll gain a place on Cyan. But it's shambles as we go around the corner onto the long bridge straight here, and Cyan is almost halted to a stop. What is going on? Yellow still leads, green following, and the rest of the pack are now much closer, gaining ground on the leaders. And you can hear red's engine still revving up there, but he's not going to be going anywhere. And we have pink, black, purple, and orange rounding out the bottom. And we're about a third of the way through the race here. And here come, oh, do you see that? Cyan seems to be back, but yellow and green lead us through the S's. And they're going to be going around and start another lap. Blue following closely behind. He's at a good race, starting 6th and now in 3rd. And the rest of the pack very close together comes around as well. And here comes Cyan, slowly snaking his way around the corner. We look to the starting straight here. Yellow leads us now, with Cyan being overtaken and sent right to the back of the field. Yellow, green come through for 1st and 2nd, and blue comes around quite some distance behind, but gaining quickly. Lime with some damage, pink, black, purple, and orange, who spun but is now up to 8th. He's starting what will hopefully be a really good recovery drive. I expect most drivers will have a moment and lose some positions, so if Orange can keep it clean, he might be in a shot for the top positions, but that is obviously very unlikely. As we ride along board with Green, following the new race leader, Yellow, and he's looking around, looking for some opportunities through the chicane here, and then he comes up to probably the most action-packed corner in the whole racetrack here. As we see a lot of overtakes, you have options on the inside, on the outside. Green has a slow start off the hill there. It's unusual for him as he's losing ground to Yellow now, and Blue will be sniffing up his rear end soon. I don't know about you, but I have a feeling that this race still has a lot more to offer. We haven't had any major incidents yet. We've only had one change of lead on one spin. I'm sure there'll be a whole lot more in both of those categories coming up soon. Blue is slowly closing that gap. Slime's damage doesn't seem to be affecting his pace, which is good, which means he might be able to get a good finish in the end here if he keeps it clean. As the cars zoom by here, we have a race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. As we look to our leaders now, we have Yellow starting second, but is now up to first, but the race isn't over yet, and that is only a temporary number beside his name. He'll have to fight with everything he's got to keep. And here comes Orange, who hasn't passed anyone by merit yet, but he has passed two cars who have had problems, and he now finds himself in 8th after that first lap spin. Yellow doing a good job to maintain his lead out at front, coming around the bend. And here comes the rest of the pack. They are definitely closing that gap down. It's becoming shorter and shorter every lap. As the cars come around, they can hear the stricken sound of red, a timely reminder of what not to do, and that is DNF, because you will score no points if you do that. And as the leaders come around one of the many slow and flowing corners of this track, they get onto the straight and step on the gas. Car shaking around as Green zooms past the straight here. And I think what he has to do now is just conserve his pace and hope that Yellow will make a mistake, because it is very possible, with all the pressure of leading the race on his shoulders in the first race of the season, he'll want to get those points as just as bad as anyone else. Approaching the chicane here, Yellow has a comfortable lead, but see if Green can close the gap through some of the tightest corners on the track, and it seems as though he has gained a little bit of ground as the rest of the pack comes around the corner. Orange falling behind slightly there, and they also come through the chicane. It seems as though Blue has pulled away from this pack, and he is now chasing the leaders, which is very good for him. Oh, and was that someone really far back there? Looked like Cyan. Maybe he's had a spin or a crash or something, but he is not where he was earlier. As the cars come around for yet another lap of this race here, the opening race of the BeamNG AI series. As Green pulls away from the normal racing line there, he's looking at an opportunity here. He's right on Yellow's tail now. This is very close considering he's on straight, and he'll definitely have a chance around the next couple of corners. A slight lock up from Green through the corner here, but it doesn't look like it costs him too much here. And he's getting a good run on Yellow here. He doesn't know how to get around it, but he's trying left, right, centre, and he cannot get past. Yellow pulls away again. But Yellow's slowing, oh, and Green slams on the brakes, trying not to avoid a crash. That's the last thing he wants right now. As he takes a wide line through the chicane, Green is right on the tail of Yellow, and Blue has made the catch-up work, and he is now in the leading pack with the top 3. Yeah, and Blue's getting really close now. He'll be sniffing his chance to get past Green and get into second place, and then eventually to the lead. As we come around the corner here where Red finds himself stranded in the gravel, and the cars zoom on by. Oh, and is that Blue trying to get up the inside? Yes, it is, and he hits Green, but Green keeps it going and saves the spin, but Blue will get past, and oh, that's awkward contact. That's very not good. But Blue gets through into second place. As I was saying, he was right there, and it was almost inevitable. But Green did put up a good fight. Well, that's very good there, Blue getting through, and he'll have the last laugh, and now he's going to go and chase Yellow with this pace that he's just all of a sudden found to charge right through the field. As a matter of fact, all of those runners that were quite far back have now found their way back up to the front and are all in one big train. It is no longer a leading pack and a smaller pack. Everyone is right in there and has a chance as green tries to get back that position from blue, but ultimately has to back out as they go around the long right-hander here. It'll be interesting to see how much risk they want to take, because they really don't want to DNF like green just there, but they also need to make up track position as they are now halfway through the race, and they really need to get going now if they want to get a good strong finish. Oh, and that's blue's brakes squeaking as he tries to avoid hitting yellow there, and a lot of people attempting overtakes, but none of them sticking as they go around here to, oh, yellow's struggling, blue is right beside yellow, and they make contact side by side down the corner, but that is a slam dunk move for blue, and there's nothing yellow can do about it as they go around the corner here. Blue is the new leader of this race, with purple and black brawling at the back. That was a very eventful section of driving there, so we're going to have to look at some replays in short notice. But that is the order right there. And, oh, look at that, Cyan has managed to catch up. As we hop on board with black here, we're going to see that brawl with purple and black as purple goes very wide into the corner, giving black an opportunity, and then there's contact, but black has the edge as they go side by side, as you can see in the mirrors there, and purple lunges through, knocks him out of the way, and then retains the position with more contact, and that's why purple's bumper is half hanging off. Oh, but black has another send at it, and purple's still there right side by side, and black keeps the position. As we hop on board with green here, fighting for the lead, finds himself back into third place, trailing yellow and blue. We'll see if he can make any ground. As the driver's reputation's coming as even this race, it's really important to get your name up there as one of the good ones. Red did a very poor job of that, but at the moment blue is doing a superb job as they come into the chicane. And there's squeaking of tyres from green, but they all remain the same order. No overtakes quite yet, but yellow is trying to get past blue, and they're side by side and there's contact, and blue seems to keep the position, but green and lime are rolling at the back, and lime looks like he gets the position there. But as they were at the top, blue still leads the race with yellow hot on his heels. Coming into a heavy braking point, and round the straight they go, and pink is trying to get past green and succeeds. That is a position gain for pink, and that's a clean and contactless overtake. Well done to pink. But as they snake their way through the S's, blue leads, followed by yellow, lime in third, green in fourth, pink in fifth, sixth for black, seventh for purple, orange in eighth, and cyan and red in ninth and tenth. As we hop on board with yellow, blue has started to make quite a considerable margin, taking that lead and keeping it for the time being as they go through corners 1 and 2. And yellow is trying to get around, blue is slow, and pink and lime make contact. That's awkward contact, but it looks like no positions will be lost. Very lucky for those two drivers, and cyan sends one down the inside of orange, a slam dunk move again, contactless, very good racing by him. And black in the background, they're taking a wider line, feeling the need to defend his position, and now cyan will have a run up purple, and that is contact and an overtake for cyan as it gets up into 7th. His recovery drive going quite nicely, much better than orange, who's found himself back in 9th, which is basically last because red is DNF'd. And this is lime going for an overtake on blue, and that's contact, and lime goes again with more contact, and blue is defending with everything he's got. Yellow is in the lead. Yellow has taken the lead. I don't know when this happened, but yellow is now your new race leader. Blue's race falling apart with damage and losing a lead back to yellow, who is now back in the lead. And there's some little squabbling at the back of the field there. Green, cyan, orange, purple, all in a big clump. And purple is chancing one down the inside of cyan and making it stick onto the straight. Bumper damage for cyan as he continues on. Oh, and blue's going back at yellow. They touch and pink comes around trying to get past lime but doesn't succeed. And oh, that's contact in the back. And pink is spinning, black is all the way around. And that's awkward stuff there. All the drivers managed to avoid him without making contact. So look at a replay. Pink is going very slowly there, must have braked to avoid something, and they both lose control, but pink catches it and black doesn't, and that costs them position. As you can see, green here gets overtaken by purple, but gets past black with a stricken car, so he does not lose any positions, but he comes back at purple there and gets the position. And now the telemetry is finally updated to put yellow in first. It seems as the longer we race, the more action we get here at Hirochi Raceway. This is very entertaining stuff as yellow leads us into the chicane. it's blue trying to get past yellow, coming on with a different line, but yellow zooms away yet again. And blue comes around the corner in second place, chasing yellow down earnestly for that win. And pink choosing to take a different line, thinking about one around lime, but it won't happen, and green will come around and snatch that position off him. Green moves up to fourth. As they come through the S's, Cyan is now down. Orange, both of them struggling with their recovery drives as they come around the last corner, slowly one by one, onto the next lap. And that's blue taking a different line there, getting past yellow, zooming by, but there's contact and they're racing down the straight and it's neck and neck even between them, but blue backs out, thinking more about the long term than the short term and keeping second place. Yellow stays in the lead. Oh, but blue's thinking about it again, and the door is shut, and blue decides to take the safe route again. Smart play by him. But it doesn't look like it's over. Yellow is going slowly, and blue is trying to find a way around. This is giving lime a chance to get right back up to blue as well, as purple goes up to fourth in a squabble at the back. And yeah, lime is really unsettled there, as purple and green make contact, and purple makes up the position, with green coming very close to the back of the pink car, and black is falling behind. As we come through, yellow is going slowly, and blue and lime are trying to make positions up. The whole field is bunched up together now, and I'm a bit sure we're about to see some overtakes. And yes, blue is coming up beside yellow and trying to take that first position away, but yellow defends, and blue will have to try on the next straight to get this position. As we zoom over the bridge, blue is losing ground to yellow, but he brakes a little bit early, and that gives lime the chance to shoot through into second place. Blue is now down to third, and pink squabbling with green yet again, but the racing is respectful and there's no contact made. As yellow has been spun, and lime shoots up the order to first place while yellow loses a bunch of ground. And now orange will get a chance to get past yellow, and yellow has gone right down from first to seventh. Really unfortunate for him. And now lime is your new race leader, going from third to first in a couple of corners. Whether the moves were legit and fair, that's up for you to decide, but he does have first and he is not going to give it up very easily. Purple up to third. It's been a very good performance from him, starting last on the grid, but that's what happens if you keep it clean and don't crash. You will rise up the rankings. Both black and cyan have not really been doing that this race, and that explains their poor performance and a large gap to the rest of the field. So we watch a replay. We're on board with lime. This is when he was in third, and he goes straight past blue, braking on the straight really early, and he's coming right up onto yellow's tail here, and he gets a great run out of that corner. Chances one around the outside and just taps yellow and keeps his foot in. Yellow goes around and lime is now in first. Whether it's good, whether it's fair, it's up for you to decide, but he is now in first. As we jump back to live with cyan, bumping with orange. Orange trying to get past. Orange falling back. I don't remember him being this far back with black. And cyan, as he goes straight past and tap. Cyan will be spun around, and that's really unfortunate. Black gets tapped there and spins around as well, but they're all in shenanigans and they're falling behind from the back. So we go back to the leaders. Lime in first, blue in second, purple in third, and that's your current podium. Orange, who started in fourth, is now down to sixth, but that's a recovery drive and he's actually gaining since he was spun on the first lap, and is now making quite the effort to get back up to the front of the field. If he could score a podium here, it would be very good for him, and he'd be very lucky to get away with such a big spin at the start of the race. As they come around into the chicane, same leaders, and there is no change of position, as the top three are starting to make a bit of a gap with themselves and the other cars. And as the cars who are probably lapping slower due to damage are coming around, we can see black and cyan in 8th and 9th, the lowest possible positions to still be racing in. It really pays to keep your head out of trouble and to keep all your parts of your car intact and functioning properly. There's no way to repair these cars, so keeping them in good nick is a priority, and that's why you see a lot of drivers being very cautious when they get near each other, slowing down and braking and stuff. Purple trying to get past blue here, and he doesn't seem to have the pace to get there, so he'll go back into the racing line. And green there goes very wide through that corner as all the cars slot through. Lime still leads, followed by blue, purple, green, pink, orange, yellow, and the rest are too far back to be seen. As they shoot by here. A very strong effort from Lime to be in first right now, considering he qualified 9th. That's the way to introduce yourself into the racing series and make a big name for yourself. Despite the damage on the car, he still seems to be holding a strong lead. Oh, but that doesn't sound very healthy there, that engine sound. As Blue tries to find a way around with a slow Lime first, and slow does not get your wins in this competition, you need to go fast. As we come down here, Purple lunging on Blue, and it looks like he's going to make that stick, with Pink also going past Green there, and Lime keeps his lead despite being slow. Oh, and Blue chops across, and there's contact, and there's damage there at the back of the field. Crash in the back, and Purple runs away unscathed. Looks like Yellow was a big beneficiary of that, and Pink losing ground. Yellow getting back up into the top positions now already after that spin. Pink is having a really bad time avoiding the trouble here. He's been in multiple crashes already. And as we watch Cyan go through, we'll have a look at the replay of what happened there at the back. On board with Pink, who we saw got switched from Green. There's contact ahead, and Pink seems to get past Green fine there, which is a good move by him, but then Blue just chops across and back into the wall, and that's damage for Pink, and Green gives him a good whack for measure, and Orange also gets past. That's really bad for Pink, locking up here in the stress and the damage. All the way down he goes. That's sad for him as we jump back to Live, and Lime still leads the race. Blue going very wide, taking an interesting line there as they all come around to the chicane, and Blue getting very close to the back of Lime. The chicane here is clearly not his strong suit, as he's been slow multiple times in the race at this part of the track. As they sneak around the corner onto the straight where all of the crashes and contacts happened last time, let's see if it produces any action for us this time. Oh, a big lockup from Blue there. He'll lose some time from that. Green thinking about going around Yellow, but he's way far too back to do that. And they all go through the snakes with no position changes through that section of the track. Cyan catching up to Pink at the back there. And there's Green trying to think about getting one around Yellow, but it doesn't seem to stick. We'll have to see the next shot. And yes, Green is behind Yellow there. And Pink spinning Black around. That's like the second time they've crashed. They're really going at each other today, Pink and Black. But Black will lose positions and he's back into the last running position as there's weaving on the straight, but no position changes. Pink going uncharacteristically wide there. That'll give Cyan a chance to sneak past. And he does go past, and there's contact, but Cyan seems to have the place confidently to his name, and he makes Pink pay for that mistake that he made on the straight there. Although it has seemed to have cost them some time to the rest of the pack, as they're quite far behind from Orange and Yellow there. As they come around to chicane, from a top view we can see them all taking different lines, and there's Purple going around trying to get past Lime, but it doesn't work, and now Purple's in a bit of a predicament with the Green coming right behind there for the next corner, which we know is renowned for overtakes, but he seems to hold the position, and Purple is now under threat again from Green, but he keeps the position again, and it's all as you were. And they're side by side up the front there, we can see. Oh, but he's pulling out, and there's weaving, and there's contact, and Green is around. Green has been spun. Oh, and there's contact, and people have run into him. That's very bad for them. There's big damage to that car Cyan there, and it's smoking from the front. And Purple must have been spun around as well. We'll have to have a look at the replay for this one. Oh, and there's even more contact in racing. We're still going side by side with Black and Purple, and there's contact, and Purple's doors being flung open. And they keep on going around with Green, getting back and going after being spun. He actually looks like he doesn't have much damage from that whole collision. But now Yellow is in third, Orange in fourth, and the state of that Cyan car looks very bashed up there with smoke coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if he falls to the back of the field. Really big shame for Cyan, as he was the pole sitter for this race. Riding on board with Cyan. And there's contact there between Orange and Pink that we didn't see earlier, but the main chaos is up ahead. As we can see, Green gets spun around and he just has nowhere to go, straight into the back of Orange. Big thud, and a thud from the back as well. As you can see, Orange has sustained some damage there at the back as well. Oh, and he gets smacked again by Pink, who was relentless there, not letting him have an inch as they go side by side, and Cyan is not in a state for fighting there. As we look at Yellow now, he has a good launch off the corner there. You can see there is the contact and there is the spin. And Yellow just zooms right by. He's probably the biggest benefit. Oh, and he spins Purple around as well. That's unfortunate for Purple, and that's why we saw him so far off the apex there. It's a slow-mo replay. Green spun around. Orange trying to pull away from the cars in front and running straight into him. Nothing Cyan can do. And they all hit and crash and get damaged. Green is now going the wrong way, but I'm sure he gets turned around because we can see him now coming back at the field. And Blue is the new leader. Blue has passed Lime. I don't know when that happens, probably when we were reviewing replays, but he is now in first. And yes, Cyan is not going well at all. Yes, Blue limes Green through the corners, Yellow coming next. In comes Orange with fourth. What a recovery drive he's had. He's now back up to where he started. And Cyan, with the state of that car, is probably just going to try to finish so he can get at least some points. Because if he DNFs and doesn't finish, he won't get any points. As we come back to our leaders here, Lime having a think about trying to get past Blue, but there is nowhere to get past. There we go. And Lime is right on the tail of Blue here, but he won't be able to make the overtake. Oh, and the struggles for Blue as he goes slowly out the exit there, and he's overtaken by both Lime and Yellow. Looks very reminiscent of the move that Yellow and Green did on Cyan at the start of the race, where it's just slow car, two cars zoom by, Yellow and Green, and now Blue will try to avoid the fate that Cyan had. Ever since that first issue that he had, Cyan, his race has just fallen apart from there, so Blue will try to avoid that. But now as he comes around the corner in third, we'll have a good run at Yellow and Lime there. And yes, Yellow tries to pull around the side of Lime, and Yellow is getting there, but he pulls away, so Blue will now have a chance to gain some ground. He's right back on their tail. As they come around, there's contact. Blue goes into the wall, and all the cars zoom by. Pink is a very compromised line there, and Cyan comes zooming through with that damaged car of his, shoving Pink onto the grass and gaining a position. Now he's up to fourth. What a recovery drive. Oh, when there's issues, and straight back off until the wall goes Cyan. His car is too much of a handful to control, and he probably won't last much longer after that. As he rejoins the track, he is right beside Blue, who has managed to get going again, and gets a whack from Blue and Green, showing that they do not care and they're just ruthless drivers trying to make some ground. But I assume that Green will get past Cyan very shortly here, because Cyan is not going very fast, but this is holding up Green and ruining his race. Who was once in the podium positions now finds himself in 9th. Very bad for Green. But here he has a chance to get past Cyan. Cyan goes inside line there, probably letting Green by so he can try and finish the race at his own pace, because he will not be competitive against other cars here, but he will get points if he finishes, so that is his goal now as he comes around the corner. Yeah, he's going much slower than the other cars. But we look to our leaders: Lime, Yellow, Orange, and Pink. Orange into the podium spots for the first time after being spun around on lap 1. That is a very good effort from him. Hopefully he can make it stick. And I have got confirmation now that we're around the half-an-hour mark of racing. We will only have 2 laps left to go. As Yellow takes the lead, the telemetry says on the side, and we're missing it because we're looking at the last corner here. Let's see if that is accurate when we get to the footage on the straight. And Lime is actually in first, so the telemetry on the side is wrong just for this moment, but Lime is still leading, followed closely by Yellow, who has made quite the recovery drive after being spun and sent down to 7th. And then follows Orange in the podium spots, with Orange sustaining heavy damage after all of his incidents, but he is still able to keep on going at a decent racing pace as he tries to go around down the inside of Yellow but backs out for the safety of it, and Pink gets a little glance but decides against it. It's all to play for here for Pink and Orange. Last couple of laps to see if they can make any daring moves, and they both play the safe game. They'll both be bagging decent points at this stage, so it's a good idea not to risk it and lose it all. And Pink having another lunge around the outside of Orange. Doesn't stick, but will give Purple a sniff, and he's still keeping that outside line there as a hope to try and get overtaken as they all come through in their separate lines here. They all remain in the same positions. As we're going to go racing here in Hirochi for the final lap. Around they go, snaking their way around the penultimate corner of the track. As they come down here, it seems as though Orange had a look down the side of the line, but decided against it. They're all pretty evenly spaced. It's going to be a cracking last lap of this race. Oh, and Pink is going slowly, and he's caused another car to spin on the straight. That's Purple going around and losing all of the hard work he's gone for, and now he finds himself down in 7th. Fortunately, he didn't lose too much ground, but we'll have a look at the replay here. So you look at Purple's camera. Oh, and they're all just slowing down. Constantina effect. And Purple pays the price for it all, dropping down 2 positions. but is able to rejoin ahead of some of the other slower drivers. As we come back to the leaders of this race, live footage is looking pretty good for Yellow here as he sits in first for the last lap of this race. This will be a big win for him to start off his season, but Lime and Orange behind him there are not going to make it easy for him. They're going to throw everything they've got here at this last lap. And as you can see, almost contact, and both of them almost missing out on their points as Orange chances one down the inside of Lime, but they all stay in the same positions and on the track facing the right direction. Approaching the corner here where we've seen the most overtakes today, and Lime is going for it, but he shoves Orange around because he isn't able to make it, and Pink is trying to go around the outside of Orange there, but he will get out tractioned and Orange keeps his position. Blue there in 6th, that's a respectable comeback considering his spin, and Orange again getting very close to the back. Oh, and there's contact and there's a spin between Pink and Black has gotten caught on the back of Pink. That's very bad for him, that's major damage, ruining both Pink and Black's race there. As you can see, Black is getting overtaken left, right and centre by the cars there. Pink gets him back, but they both lose ground, ruining both their races. And Cyan is in a smoking heap on the side of the road there. That's a shame. He won't score any points today in DNFs. As we see here, Black is just trying to go down the inside and Pink doesn't see him there, and then Black just makes awful contact, rolling right off the side and damaging the front of his car to the point where he cannot race anymore. This is what Black sees, trying to go down the inside. Pink comes across and he keeps his foot in, and it really ends up bad for him. If he pulled out there, he might have been able to make it, but no, and he gives Blue a back just for good measure. Concerning sounds of contact there, as I'm pretty sure Black's bumper falls off and he rolls over it, but he just loses all the positions that he worked so hard to get, and that's really sad for him. He's slowing down for Pink, that's nice, after he did what he did to Pink, and he will finish the race in 8th behind the 2 DNFers. But here is our leader, Yellow, coming around the last corner. Lime seems too far back to do anything, so yes, it will be a win for... Oh no, Yellow is struggling, Lime's right behind him, and he pulls to the side, and Yellow wins the first race of the season. Lime in 2nd, Orange in 3rd, Blue comes home at 4th, Purple in 5th, Green in 6th, Pink in 7th, and a heavily damaged Black will come home in 8th, but he will still score points. In the meantime, Cyan is out of the race, DNF'd, scoring 0 points, and the same can be said for Red, who went out right at the start of the race, getting himself last place in the first race of the season. Well, I hope you enjoyed that thrilling race. I certainly did, as we look at the standings here. Yellow bagging himself 25 points with a thrilling win, right up the top for the whole time, gets spun around and still comes back for the win. Lime in 2nd, starting 9th, a very impressive race from him. Orange got spun around on the first lap, went down to 10th, but still bags the podium in the end, keeps it clean for the rest of the race. Green comes home in 4th, very strong from him. He did qualify 3rd, but he had his fair shares of trouble and crashes, so to get 4th is a very good result for him. Blue was leading most of the race, so he'll be pretty disappointed after being in that top pack for so long, but he does improve from his qualifying position by 1 place, getting 5th and 10 points. Purple started last, getting 6th is quite decent, I'd say, and he gets 8 points for that. Pink in 7th with 6 points. Black qualifies 8th, finishes 8th, gets 4 points, and Cyan and Red DNF'd. Unfortunate for Cyan getting a pole position, not being able to convert it, but Red just had an unlucky starting lap, collecting damage, and then DNFing a short while later. Well, I hope you enjoyed the race. We'll be back next time in, I think it's Monaco is the next round, so I hope you stay tuned for that. Subscribe and like so you get to see it all next time round. I'll see you then. As for now, goodbye.